Good morning, namaste. I'm Angeli Shrestha, Senior Program Associate from ICIMOD. A warm welcome to this webinar to all on this innovative geospatial solutions to address the mountain issues. And it is my great pleasure to facilitate a half-a-day webinar jointly organized by ICIMOD and Esri India. The purpose of the webinar is to share the profound insights on the ongoing trends, best practices, and latest developments in the field of geospatial technologies. And the objective of this webinar is to share knowledge on using innovative geospatial technologies, Esri technologies-based applications and tools, and mainly to address key mountain issues with a primary focus on disaster management, forestry, and wildlife and health, including the COVID-19 pandemic. Yes, the production team of this event are my colleagues, Utsav Maden, Rajbhandari, and Rajesh Shrestha. For information, the recording of the event will be available to all the registered attendees. In this webinar, we are joined by the distinguished speakers from ICIMOD and Esri India. Let me quickly brief you on the agenda. Basanta Shrestha, Director of Strategic Cooperation ICIMOD, will start the session by giving his opening remarks and presentation. Vishal Anand, Senior Vice President, Esri India, and Country Head of Sales, will deliver the keynote remarks. Sudip Pradhan, Program Coordinator, RDS Initiative ICIMOD, will give the presentation and take forward the technical session on Esri tools and solutions. Likewise, from Esri India, we have list of speakers: CM Adhikari, Ashish Dhawan, Santanu Dutta, and Ashish Mittal. From ICIMOD, we have Dr. Ghulam Rasul, who will give the vote of thanks and concluding remarks at the end of this session. Without any further delay, I would like to call upon Basanta Shrestha from ICIMOD to give his opening remarks and presentation.
Thank you, Anjali. A very good morning and namaste. I'm very pleased to have this opportunity to, provide opening remarks on this important forum. Just to brief background on Esri and ICIMOD partnership. So very good to see you, Vishal, Ashish, and many other colleagues from Esri. I recall perhaps a little bit nostalgic in terms of our partnership between Esri and ICIMOD. It is almost 3 decades of partnership, and I would just like to take this opportunity to express deep appreciation and cooperation and all the support, continuing support from Esri to ICIMOD in terms of promoting geospatial tools, technologies to address some of the impending mountain issues. I also would like to take this opportunity to express deep appreciation to President of Esri, Jack Dengerman, who has been very close associate and friend with ICIMOD and personally with me as well. So I think his encouragement, his continuous support has been an inspiration to our MENRIS program or GIS or remote sensing program at ICIMOD. So at the outset, very warm welcome to all the participants in this webinar, and thank you Esri India for all the continuing support and also coming forward with ICIMOD to organize this webinar. I just have a couple of slides in terms of giving a little bit of an introduction and context of, as you know, this seminar is very much with geospatial technology, innovation, and the kind of science applications that we do in the context of mountain. And I recall those of you from the first generation of Esri software, ArcInfo 3.4.1, that was the beginning of our journey in terms of, with a hard key on a PS2 computer. So that was a journey of our GIS remote sensing at ICIMOD from Esri as such. Now, if you look at the Hindu-Kush Himalayan region, not only this is the one of the astounding and spectacular region of the world, but also this is recognized as a global asset in terms of food, water, energy, carbon, biological diversity, and others. So the kind of immense natural resource endowment, mainly water and biodiversity, provides sustenance for almost 2 billion people downstream. So I think from the geographical perspective, this is very, very important. And just would like to convey that, given the challenges of the mountains, given the challenges of the inaccessibility, given the challenges of the remoteness, and the lack of data in this mountain system, we envision the kind of GIS and remote sensing and the satellite-based technology is one of the best tools to in terms of gaining some of the key understanding of the mountain system, so as to devise some of the integrated and innovative solutions for the development decision making and so forth. So we work obviously in a very challenging kind of environment, and ICIMOD, one of the key strand of ICIMOD is a linking science policy to the practice. As a knowledge organization, we engage in action research to support development decision making. And we view that Earth observation and the geospatial technology provide very, very good insights in terms of science, in terms of technology, in terms of innovation, to generate knowledge and to disseminate this knowledge to various stakeholders like government agencies, non-governmental agencies, all the way from the regional kind of issues to national issues, and and the local issues, the kind of challenges that we address with some of the mountain development issues. Now, MENRIS program, popularly known as the GIS and Remote Sensing Program, established in 1991. That was since the very day one, through UNEP, Esri was involved in terms of providing software tools, in terms of providing the kind of a support, in terms of providing support in terms of software to not only ICIMOD, but a whole host of network partners in a very remote locations of the mountains. And Jack Denzelman himself, he was, I believe, in 2001, he came to ICIMOD and he has looked at, different kinds of penetration of a GIS technology, for instance, in Bhutan, in Nepal, and he had also opportunity to visit Tibet Autonomous Region of China. And the kind of the inspiration that he has seen in terms of proliferation of this technology to mountain issues. In 2001, if I'm not mistaken, 2001 or 2002, he invited ICIMOD and he garnered with a presidential award to ICIMOD in terms of giving recognition of promoting these tools, technologies to various kind of issues. And especially we were in the initial days, we were engaged with the building capacity, providing training, providing tools of technology, bringing awareness of these technologies to address different challenges and others. So in very short, that we see this program, MENRIS program, Remote Sensing and GIS program, is as a knowledge organization, it underpins our mission and our vision in terms of generating evidence-based, science, evidence-based information to support planning and decision making at the multiple level. So we focus on 4 key areas. One is obviously, I think, being a data scarce region, improve access to data, tools, models, online mapping and visualization. Now, if we look at the 3 decades of our partnership and 3 decades of technology has gone leaps and bounds, and I think we have also tried to keep abreast of this technological evolution and how we can be relevant in terms of providing right kind of application to different member governments and different clienteles and stakeholders. In that context, I think Esri has played a very, very important role. Second part of our program is really in terms of, as a regional resource center, we strengthen capacity of different regional partners, and also having seen the kind of a growth of this technology and innovation in this part of the region, especially in India and China, we also see the opportunity for the South-South kind of a cooperation in the coming days and coming years. And we are already seeing more South-South kind of a cooperation in terms of geospatial technologies, and you name it, some of the technologies like artificial intelligence and other sorts of big data, UAV, and many other technologies where I think the region is making very much, leaps and bounds in terms of providing these solutions. The third important component is towards the science applications. I think the value of a GIS in geospatial technology resides in to be able to develop a kind of applications that can provide right kind of tools, right kind of information for development planning, decision making processes and others. So many of our science applications are more from the demand driven approach. I'm sure my colleague Sudip will highlight more on different applications that we are engaged in, but many of these science applications that we see through the network of our partners, more from the regional constellation point of view. And some of these are at the national level, and some of these are at the very local level, like a community-based early warning system and others. Lastly, I think as a regional intergovernmental center, we also foster regional cooperation, build kind of an international partnership with many different agencies, and also global network of partners, for example, Global Earth Observation, for instance, with FAO, many UN organizations, and so forth. Having said this, just quickly, just to introduce that there are a number of different programs within ICIMOD. So these are the core of ICIMOD regional programs in terms of addressing some of the key mountain development challenges. One is on the adaptation and resilience building, again, looking at various aspects of a climate change issue, various aspects of changes in a social system. So we see the value of a GIS, remote sensing, and also, if you like, the convergence of these technologies. For instance, we are engaged in a renewable energy solutions. For instance, we are engaged in a spring set management in terms of revival of this spring, so that we can provide access to, water to our mountain communities. And we see the value of GIS remote sensing in terms of assessment, in terms of, making analytics and providing the right kind of information. Second program is more on a transboundary landscape, again on a regional setting that we look at more from the conservation and the development approaches. Biodiversity conservation is some of the key aspects of this program, and I think GIS remote sensing program has played very, very important role. For example, socio-ecological monitoring, land use, land cover change. This has been one of the signature kind of applications. Also RED Plus, in terms of developing a MRP system and so forth. Our third program, river basin and cryosphere, again, this is a region being one of the third pole, and the cryosphere, all the frozen surfaces in the Hindu-Kush-Himalayan region, and the glacier mapping. This has been a signature kind of effort from ICIMOD using remote sensing and GIS technology, if you like, taking a census of each and every glaciers in the entire Hindu-Kush-Himalayan region, together with our partners in RMCs. And we have also changed leaps and bounds in this program in terms of field-based measurement, in terms of even looking at what are the linkages between cryosphere and the society and so forth. So I think there are a number of issues in terms of disaster risk reduction, integrated water resource management, and many other topics that we are seeing. Geospatial technology, Earth observation are the key facets that underpins this program as such. Atmosphere, this is fairly new program in ICIMOD in terms of air pollution monitoring, again the transboundary air pollution monitoring, and many of you colleagues from Esri India is from Delhi, and I know the kind of pressing environmental challenges on the air pollution, not only in a very localized in the urban setting, but also the whole issue of transboundary air pollution, so we are also looking at more from the science kind of approach. We have also collaboration with NASA and other institutes around the globe, looking at some of the impending issue on the air pollution. And I again think that remote sensing and also geospatial technologies, wireless sensors network, low cost sensor devices would be a key in terms of future, taking forward some of the key understanding of this atmosphere issue and provide this support. And we hear many new innovation in terms of data gathering, in terms of air pollution, whole issue of a citizen science and OpenStreetMap and other things, many different innovative applications on this front. Lastly, I think we have also Himalayan University Consortium. As a knowledge organization, we also feel that university platform is one of the best platform to park our knowledge in terms of further dissemination, and also putting this into a curriculum, putting this into a more youth focused program, as well as strengthening some of the capabilities of the young researchers and scientists. There are almost 100 universities, and I see that these are also some of the important kind of relationship between Esri and ICIMOD in terms of disseminating this technology, and also preparing future cadres in terms of future cadres of mountain development practitioners with the handy tools with the GIS remote sensing. This is my last slide. I think Sudip and I were in 2015, perhaps one of the very painful reminder in a recent history in terms of disaster in Nepal, Nepal earthquake 2015. But I think the kind of a response that we have been able to coordinate with the international agencies, with Nepal government, and that time, I think I just would like to once again express my deep gratitude to Esri in terms of being available 24/7 in those response time, emergency response time. And we were almost operating like a 24/7 emergency operation to provide support to government of Nepal, operating as a one window system to converge all the kind of different kinds of information for the disaster response. And I think Esri India, our colleague from Esri headquarters in Redlands, have provided immense kind of a support, and without your support, we would not have been able to respond in that disaster, which is also seen as one of the signatory kind of a disaster response, and so much so that Jack Dengerman reached out to us, and Esri conference in 2015, we were awarded with a humanitarian GIS award. So this was a picture, as most of Esri colleagues would know, the very, flagship Esri conference in San Diego. So we were receiving Human GIS award. So once again, welcome everyone from ICIMOD on behalf of ICIMOD, and have a productive kind of a webinar. As I said, leaps and bounds, changes in technology and innovation, and I'm sure this webinar will provide some good insights in terms of new tools, technologies, and we can continue to embrace within ICIMOD. Also, I think to disseminate this to our clientele in the regional member countries. Thank you once again. Back to you, Anjali.
Thank you, Basanta, for highlighting and expressing the continuous support from Esri India, and also for a remarkable presentation, including the history of GIS technology. Thank you. Now, I would like to kindly invite Vishal Anand, Senior Vice President and Country Head of Sales from Esri India, for his keynote remarks. Thank you. Over to you, Vishal Anandji.
Thank you, Angeli. Thanks a lot for inviting me. And thanks, Basanta, for a overwhelming presentation. I mean, it's always so good to hear you, and the kind of work ICIMOD is doing. It's really overwhelming. Every time I hear you, I think there is something new I hear from your desk, that whatever work you're doing, it's really great. Atmosphere you talked about today, university you talked about today. I mean, so much work. It's very difficult how you people manage. And talking about the theme of this webinar, mountain issues and use of geospatial technology, it's just not mountain issues. Mountain issues are related to many other issues, sustainable, disaster management, fire, earthquake, everything is related. So if we have to sustain, it's like whole community has to participate in taking out of this mountain issue. It's not just one. I mean, there are hundreds of issues related to our country, our department, our organization, and planet as a whole. So with this, I think I will not take much time and quickly go into a small presentation I have, where I would like to talk about how geospatial technology is taking care of these issues and what is new. And then my team will take over in getting into a deep dive into this. And before that, I would like to welcome all the participants who have come for this seminar. I know you have a very, very busy schedule, and these days with online schedules have become twice as busy as they were earlier. So thank you for joining us, and I hope you will have a wonderful exchange of ideas and whatever new things which are coming with Esri technology. Somebody has to confirm whether this is visible slides.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay, so our world is being changed. That's what Basanta also told in his slides, that we are facing lot of challenges every day. And we are responsible. Humans are responsible for our attitude, the way we have been dealing with our planet, our country, our issues, the recklessless attitude. And it is I have no inhibition is saying that it's all because of us. The pollution levels, the drought which comes in, the wildfires, the ecological instability, and which sometimes leads to a man-made disaster, and sometimes it's natural disaster. As we say, it's the planet give us back. So this is changing, and we are actually going through all these challenges from I'll say many decades, but in present time it has gone up. And needless to mention, the pandemic is not over yet. The whole pandemic, the way we are, though it is kind of managed, I'll say now, but the way it changed everybody's life, it's really unprecedented. Creating a sustainable future is possible. That's what we say. And we have to change our priorities. We all have to change our priorities, take a commitment that we change our future. Because if we don't change, our future generation will not have anything much to left with, as far as nature has given us. So we are talking about perseverance, we're talking about restoring nature, we're talking about maintaining, mountain issues and taking care of the sustainability of those issues. If we do that, I mean, eventually it will lead to economic viability. It will lead to creating a sustainable domains. Let it be agriculture, let it be forest, let it be earth observation. Everything will get streamlined if we have a commitment towards all this. And if we are, first of all, we have to become sensitized. Let's say these are the issues, and it's not like that. Whatever we get, we use it and go away. No, for future generation, we have to become sensitive and we have to do something. And we all believe at Esri, and that's what ICIMOD also believe, that geographic thinking will be very, very essential. Because the geographic approach, and that's what I want to bring to the table, that it gives a lot of scientific way of, first of all, knowing what is available, what is not available, and then planning the spatial knowledge we all have, the spatial data we all have. We can actually make a collaborative approach and platform to just change and see everything geographically. The datas in MIS files and Excel files are not as visible as the maps are. So the way of thinking and problem solving approach is towards geography. So it becomes holistic. It's a science. GIS is a science. It supports multidisciplinary data sets. All the organization, communities, and all basically see a common operating picture or a common view, that where we need to, as I said, we have to become sensitized towards issues, and then we have to have a real picture of the issues, and then only we can go and mitigate them. GIS, we all know, becomes a very, very handy tools when we talk of thinking geographically, or a geographic approach. Has been used from many decades in the country of Nepal, as well as ICIMOD has been a flagship organization, and that's what Basanta talked about. Like right from, he has been involved from many decades, and the relationship is very, very nostalgic, I will say. It was very great relationship, but today it has come to a level that it's a partner organization, is the same organization. So GIS take care of all the measuring part or the data part, and then you collate all that data and do some visualization and do some map, create some map, and those are required to do a lot of analysis and modeling on top of it, and then that become the precursor of our planning, and that's what we keep on saying, that the concept of geo design. We want to design our cities, we want to design our plans, we want to design our networks, let it be road network, utility network, and then somebody has to take decision on top of it and do some action. So the GIS comes into every fold of this, right from measurement to taking right action geographically. It's a tool available with all of you, and that's what we keep on saying, that use it the way you can and start sharing it. The data sharing is very, very important. Otherwise, it will be just become a tool for your department. And today the technology is totally advancing. I mean, the GIS was once upon a time a desktop-based solution with one person, one computer. But today you talk of, I mean, you talk of 3D visualization analytics, you talk of maps can be interactive over web. People have been talking about big data analysis. A lot of domains like telecom, utilities are using big data. You talk of, can I share my data as a service? It's possible. Geo AI, I mean AI and then geo artificial intelligence, machine learning. You know any technology today. It's we can integrate a lot of innovation which is happening in the IT arena. GIS or Esri takes a whole lot of those innovation, integrate with them, and what user will get eventually. User will get a nice, easy way to use whole lot of innovation of Esri and related technologies into a very simple applications. Web maps we call it, story maps we call it, and applications. So user get a lot of benefit of the innovation in a very, very simple application with huge power of GIS and other services. This will help. I mean, it's becoming increasingly interconnected because, as I said, if you are not interconnected, we cannot have a right data and a right service and a right picture of an organization, department, country cannot be there if it's not connected. So people use a lot of desktop solution to create data sets, to create application. Then we go to our servers and we are ready to share that as a service to a lot of other people who are not actually GIS user, but they still want to use those service and create their own applications in forestry, in urban, in mountaining, and I mean those are our user application, as Basanta said, the clientele of ICIMOD. And then this can be embedded into a lot of mobile devices, a lot of other application, because somewhere we have started saying that GIS is becoming pervasive. It is not, I mean, one is that you have a GIS application, you have GIS software, and but it can be embedded to a, I mean, in India, you would have heard of, Ola cabs, Uber cabs. I mean, the use of one small piece of GIS application and the map behind, it becomes more and more pervasive. So either it's directly visible or indirectly visible, but yes, that's the way forward. So we are connecting it, we are collaborating it, and making sure the effective decision making is done. And here is what I want to introduce you a concept of geospatial infrastructure, which is basically transforming the organization worldwide. So it's basically, we're creating a whole lot of, information or intelligent infrastructure where we have our users who are creating a GIS or a geographers, I will say, or the scientists who are creating a lot of data. Then we can support them with a lot of portals. Portals are way to organize, access, and then eventually deliver the data and the application to people who are not so GIS savvy, but they want to use and take the benefit of those application. And then it's completely open and interoperable. It can take input from any, I'll say, technology and give output to any open and interoperable technologies. All type of data set, let it be 3D, vector, raster, all type of data sets can be ingested here. And as I keep saying, eventually what you get application for everyone. Everyone means everyone, a hardcore power user or a mobile user or a desktop user. So this is what Esri is bringing to the world, which is we keep on saying, and this is a year-old concept. We say geospatial infrastructure is being created, and organization like I am sure ICIMOD will create one geospatial infrastructure for the country of Nepal, so that a lot of benefits can come to all the user. Infrastructure is expanding day by day because today, you can be one desktop, one application for your department, and it can become, tens and thousands of users for the community and the country. And now we are not restricted. Internet has given that power, or web has given that power, that it can become tens and millions of, you can share your data, you can take data from thousands and billions of maps being created every day. So it's a shared system and a shared network, which eventually is creating a global information system. That's what we are calling it. And I'm sure a lot of users are taking care of those services which come from Esri Global and otherwise a lot of users in the same domain working worldwide. So you share your data, you take care of the data, create your own mesh and your data set, and then again share it. So that's what geospatial infrastructure is trying to expand rapidly to. As I said, it integrates all whatever you think of. You talk of IoT device, you talk of LiDAR, point clouds, drone, big data, imagery, everything is possible to ingest and connect, and then serve to your user into a form of maps, layers, applications, scenes, whatever. So whatever you heard of, even BIM today, somebody is working on that construction and area of building information management. BIM is possible, AutoCAD, Revit data is possible, Voxel. So the idea is all the data which was once upon a time a data, and we used to integrate with those softwares. It's possible today. Just take that data, ingest into your system, and come out with the shared services which can be used very, very easily by everyone. That's the power of geospatial infrastructure, ladies and gentlemen. And eventually what? Eventually we are delivering the application. Eventually, whatever you do, we have our users are still, the powerful desktop application user who are the scientific community who want to use GIS and get into nitty-gritties. So they create those great apps using our desktop tools. Then we have our great mobile users who are basically sometimes the workforce management into a utility or a construction site. Sometimes it's people who go to a field, collect the data using our field apps. Sometimes it's like tracking application, maintaining application, and and whatnot. So that is basically a power of GIS given to the mobile. And then executive level people would like to see the dashboards. What is the condition of my area? What is the condition of my area of interest? What is the what is the weather information coming in for next 2 days? So in a form of dashboard, if you see on the right hand side, infographics and story maps, very, very easy to understand, because we don't expect at executive level sometime people will go and get into GIS technology and bring and build something out of it. No, if their idea is to get into dashboard, do some analysis, or maybe do some decision making based on those inputs. So that's a power of geospatial infrastructure. And I would like to, I think, leave here with this thought that eventually we have to create one infrastructure in the country of Nepal as well, and will ICIMOD taking the lead, so that all the clients and users who are connected with this great organization get benefit and the power of a lot of GIS which this organization use. So I think thank you everyone for hearing me out. And once again, I would like to thank SEMO team and Basanta, my good friend, especially in doing this great work, and all the users who are there. Please take benefit of this half a day seminar, and we have a very action-packed technology decks built up for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Anand, for the appreciation towards ICIMOD and your inspiring keynote remarks. It was wonderful to hear all the new updates from Esri on GIS, its data, and applications. Thank you. Now, I would like to give the floor to Sudip Pradhan, Program Coordinator, Regional Database System Initiative from ICIMOD, for some insights on ICIMOD's geospatial applications developed around various thematic areas with presentation. And with this, I would like Sudip Pradhan to take forward the remaining session. Thank you.
Thank you, Angeli Didi, and good morning, everyone. Before we move on to S3 technical sessions, I would like to quickly provide a whole host of applications, not all, but rather focusing S3 technologies that we have built over the years in different thematic areas. To start with, in the disaster team. So this is a flood inundation applications that we have put together recently. And this uses SAR data, and then as soon as the new data comes in and it gets processed, and then users can see through these applications the inundated area in Bangladesh, Bihar area of India, and Nepal. So just to mention here, like most of the applications I'll be showing in this brief presentation, so I want to catch up the time that we have already gone overboard by going quickly through my slides, so as to allow our ESRI colleagues to give their demonstrations on the tools and opportunity. So most of these are developed under Survey Hindu Kush Himalaya initiative. Actually, Survey, just briefly, is a global program, like a unique partnership with NASA and USAID led program. And we have different nodes across the globe, and at Hindu Kush Himalaya, it's based in ICIMOD and called Sarbi Indikusimalaya. And then it has a main mantra to connect space to village. And then mainly we work like through Sarbi to use satellite data, Earth observation, geospatial technology to address various challenges. And at the moment we are focusing on 5 thematic areas like agriculture and food security, water, resource and hydroclimatic disaster, and then land cover, land use and ecosystem, weather and climate service, and finally air quality in this phase. So just brief background on this, and this particular example, this flood inundation mapping is like we have built with the partnership with University of Alaska Fairbanks, who processed the data, and then we have put together this visualization app. So with the interest of time, I won't go into details about applications, all the functionalities. Next example is in forest fire detection and monitoring system in Nepal, which is a pretty mature applications, almost 9 years old now. What it does is provides like we use MODIS active fire data to identify forest fires across the country in Nepal, and then send out the email alerts to stakeholder like Department of Forest, DOFs like district DFOs, district forest officers, and others. And then this visualization application people are able to see as well, like for any given day or time period. And also we have incorporated VIRS actified data for people to visualize, as well as other auxiliary layers, informative layers like fire risks at the district VDC level, and so on and so forth. We already heard from Basanta sir earlier, like in 2015 aftermath of earthquake, we put together this disaster relief and recovery information platform with various modules, and the idea is to give one-stop information solution to like various aspects of the disaster, like earthquake disaster information. You can see like at the district and country level, people were able to get information regarding losses, damages, and also census data kind of information. There were modules which allowed people to do lots of different things. Like one example on the right is like swipe tools. They could see like before and after images by swiping. Also, we put together this. We heard about like history maps and this map journal. So we also with Esri, we put together map journals to tell this story through journal. Next is on land cover and ecosystem. This is a whole screenshot. ICIMOD has been involved in land cover mapping for more than a decade now, and then in the past we like developed land cover data for Nepal, Bhutan, and the region that lies within Hindu Kush Himalaya for Pakistan, Myanmar, and Bangladesh for 1990, 2000, 2010. And then this application allows getting information of land cover for country at district level for these 3 time period, and also people are able to see the changes, like they can query like what land cover, like particular land cover type, like how they have changed over time to other land cover types. I'm happy to mention here, we are coming up with like 10, almost 18, 19 years of land cover data for Nepal and whole Hindu Kush Himalaya, which will be launched hopefully like towards the middle of September for whole Hindu Kush Himalaya, and end of the month probably with partner like through FRTC Nepal for Nepal. Then we will be launching again the updated application for those data set as well. And based on 2010 land cover data, and then using the population, so this we also put together this above ground biomass visualization applications based on the data developed at the time, which allows like for district or VDC level, like available biomass or demand and what's the balance kind of information. Next thematic area, agriculture. We have partnered with Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock to develop this agriculture atlas, which allows visualizing various agricultural statistics for crops, livestock, fruits, you name it, like all sorts of agriculture products over time. And then we also provided profile kind of view for the same data so that they can choose a particular district and get the statistics in terms of charts. For different products or for the same particular product, let's say paddy production over the years, like how it is changing over time. ICIMOD has been always known as a pioneer institution for glacier mapping, and this is a applications based on the glacier data we developed in the past, which allows basically visualizing glacier data as well as getting statistics of glacier in terms of number and area for major basin and sub-basin. And there are many other features that I won't have, like I don't have time to mention, but and along with that, for Nepal and Bhutan and recently for Afghanistan, we developed glacier data for 4 timestamps. For in Nepal's and Bhutan's case, it's 1980, 90, 2000, 2010. And we put together this application. This is an example of Bhutan, where people are able to see again, get statistics based on this, basin, sub-basin in terms of glacier number or glacier area. And they can also look at a particular glacier of their interest and see how it is changing over time, and it gets its get its statistics in terms of area. This is an example of a glacial lake in Afghanistan that ICIMOD has recently developed for 4 timestamps: 1990, 2000, 2010, and 2015. It's similar to, like, in terms of applications, similar to Glacier app, like it gives you the information based on basin, sub-basin, and so forth. This is an example of the work we did, the applications based on the data that ICIMOD developed with government Nepal on climate change scenarios, and it gives it allows visualizing statistics for different climate change scenario in terms of temperature and precipitation for different districts. People can visualize in terms of charts and maps. And this one is we developed for Minister of Finance, I believe, related to GCF, so Integrated Data Platform Climate Investment Opportunities, where for at a country level, province level in Nepal, or even district level, people are able to get different kind of information in terms of agricultural land cover, biomass, and number of businesses established there, temperature and rainfall pattern, historical average temperature rainfall information. And in terms of province and district, they even get values for climate change vulnerability. And in addition to different thematic areas, focused applications, we also develop at ICIMOD geographic focused application as well. And this is one such example. This is a KBIS, a Kosi Basin Information System. For Kosi Basin, developed mainly by Kosi Basin Initiative at ICIMOD. So for Kosi Basin, people are able to, through these applications, get information on various thematic areas for the basin. And all the data that we develop at ICIMOD, so we store them in the central repository called Regional Database System. And I'm happy to inform you, and many of you already know, that whatever data that we develop at ICIMOD, we disseminate them through our Regional Database System portal, rds.icimod.org. So that's the URL for our portal through which users are able to download our data. So this is a brief overview of applications that we have put together. I had to, in the interest of time, take out many other applications, but I chose to just give a brief overview of a few other examples. Thank you very much. So without further ado, now we will move on to our technical session on mainly Esri tools and solutions. And then I would like to first call upon Chandramohan Adhikari, Senior Manager, PreSales Esri India, to give his presentation on Forest and Wildlife Protection Solutions, Enterprise GIS for Forestry Management. Over to you, CM.
Yeah, thank you, Sudip, and thank you so much. And you have made my life very much easy by showing all these thematic maps and the application sites. So things are easy for me. You now my job is to let the audience know how the way we can achieve it using the ESRI ready to use tools. So thank you once again, and I would like to extend my thanks to all of you who are attending this session by sparing out the time for us. So today we are here to share you the knowledge on the ESRI technology based applications as well as the tools for different domains. So probably I will start with covering up the tools and technology available for forestry and wildlife protections. So if I refer to the wider canvas which has been set by Basanta ji and followed by Vishal sir, so I would just try to make it a linkage with how the way we can use these tools for the applications which Nepal and associated regions are working on. Because in terms of forest and natural resources, if I see, Nepal is one of the blessed country in the world. And so I can see the associated ministries and the forest department must be always under pressure to save this life supporting system, which is getting impacted due to modern civilizations or economic development and growth in human and cattle populations, which is going on. So hope you will found this session useful to solve the problems, especially. So here it looks like how every day the Esri technology is being used by more than 300 commercial forestry customers like many of you. And with the Esri solutions, you can get answers to the queries like where are our forest and how are they growing? Or where are the recent plantation activities has been carried out, and which are the places where recreational activities has been allowed? Or sometimes the questions comes like where are the we developing the better genetic stock, or where are the active road network or rail network and the allowed mining sites are there. And there are frequent questions comes which are dynamic in nature, like how many human animal conflicts incidents has happened in last week or in last month or so. So Esri is the one which we are working with our customers to get answer to all these queries, and thus trying to manage the forest and wildlife effectively. If I come to the technical stack of the solutions, the technical environment related to this connected forest we are talking of, we can start with the big applications like forest management, the wildlife protections, environmental applications, and corresponding R&D activities which are going on. So data related to all these can be integrated in a platform. Either the data is coming in the form of APIs, the data is coming in the form of a geospatial nature, or sometimes the data comes from the IoT sensors, or the data coming from some other system. So through the scripting sort, we can get it integrated into the platform. And then comes the role of Esri, which provide the foundation for all geospatial data management, and that comes with the smart analytical platforms which are spatial in nature, and along with the spatial analysis, it provides the geospatial business intelligence tool as well. And above that, there is a layer of which gives us the mobility platform, that we can get it integrated to the different mobile applications. We can get it integrated with other connectors to get the data dynamically or on a real-time basis, so that we can make a systems robust as well as a real-time, which is acting as a dynamic DSS for us. So here it goes, the complete ArcGIS ecosystem, which is actually giving us a framework to implement a geospatial infra for any of our project or to my organizations. Uh, This platform provides all analytical tools for understanding the spatial relationships and the patterns. May these are my data engineering tools, or which are comes out of box, and the data science libraries which are capable of reading, transforming, and enriching the data. May these are my visualization tools which create the beautiful maps and dynamic charts to virtually investigate the data. If I talk of the new data science tools, the new generation AI, ML, or deep learning based tools. So integrate spatial analysis to these machine learning tools model to solve the complex real problems. And you can save your data, which is coming from variety of sources voluminously with velocity, with the new data storage systems like SAP or HANA. And thus entire of the things can be shared and collaborated. Vishal sir has also mentioned about the collaboration of the data. So to effectively communicate and share the complex analysis which has been done through the maps or apps, this is the platform which provides you ready to use applications and solutions. Many of the examples which my colleague Sudip has already shown to you. With the help of that, the results, the applications can be shared to you. So if we try to identify certain key areas, so the foundational information from where I would like to start is, so far the digitization of the data has been carried out. So systems has been developed, which has been where the computerization of the textual records has been done, and integration with some digital GIS layers, like at an administrative boundary level, the forest cover mapping, the forest type mapping, etc., has been done in the different countries. However, it itself has limited benefits unless it's get integrated to the business areas, which are the core business area for any department or for the industry. And the system should be very simple, web enabled, ready to use, and so that easily the user can use it on as possible, and as and when required basis they can use it. So if I talk about the forestry domain, the department or the ministries or the industry face challenges related to green cover. So how in a due course of time my green cover has increased or decreased? What is the sustainability index of the plantation work which we have carried out? So for that, the priority solution for the department goes like, they really work for a working plan. So most of the territorial forest divisions in the countries, they work for planning this work plans, which is a plan prepared for 10 years, 15 years, long-term plannings. So, and with the framework of which is detailed activities given in this work plan, all the work for the rest of the years being carried out on the basis of that. So the two most important components they take on that is the descriptions of the forest maps, the forest vegetations, the forest inventories also. So there is where the technology is going to help you out. Second, we talk about the livelihood part. That's basically the incorporation of social forestry by generating the social maps, wherein the priority solutions goes like the LEAP, the livelihood enhancement action plan creations, or talking about the forest right action. So the third one is related to with the water conservation, water and soil conservations, where the department really need to plan for the structures like check dams, trenches, and monitoring and reporting of those. And the priority solution requires are the identification of the suitable sites for such kind of project areas. Same way, we have many other industry challenges where you talk about the wildlife management, you talk about the biodiversity, then corresponding to those are the priority solutions, where you need to plan for the animal corridor mapping, you need to prepare for the wildlife census, forest fires, identification and connecting the potential zones, mapping of geopolitical areas for the wildlife, and number of applications. So this is how we want to try out the priority areas, and as per those priority areas, what is the implementation approach we give. So to get it implemented, there is a very simple approach the Esri gives you. That's you create, configure, and use the solutions. Here it goes the entire process of 3 step, wherein it starts with the creation of a knowledge based system for you. So a creation of knowledge based systems for easy and always access of data, the models, defining the data schema, and so that we can analyze and visualize the data. So there are many tools, data, which are contributing to for creation of this knowledge based systems, like indicators of the planet, which is an ocean of data is there, which you can enrich it with your local data. There is solution templates which are available, which can be used for creating out the ready to use solutions for you, or they can be taken as a reference, get it downloaded, localize them, and use it for your purpose. There are many scripts and tools which are available, which are ready to use, and even the system is capable of taking the data which is nowhere lying in any of the databases, neither it's a spatial nature data. So that's a data which is either residing somewhere in my Word documents, in my social media, or as an HTML file, or in PPT somewhere. So that's my unstructured data. If I would like to take it, the system gives you a tools through which you can use it and enrich your knowledge based systems. Once the system is ready for us, then we can move to configuring the applications. Again, I will refer to the applications of Sudip's. So I can see that they have used most of this configurable tools, widgets, which with the help of which we can really make the applications with a very less ROI. The turnaround times decrease because we have certain templates and applications and widgets are ready for us. So we can use the new map viewer applications for creating out the web maps. There are tools called web app builders, which comes with integrated widgets which can readily be configured with the layers to create out applications, and if required, it do supports the customization part as well. There is a very innovative way of sharing our stories of the good work which we have carried out to get it disseminated through story maps. There are various kind of story maps which are theme based. Maybe if I would like to convey a message to my audience how in a due course of time the forest cover has been changed for my area of interest, so maybe I can take a compare template and I can build my story around that. Same with there are many widgets available which are being used for making out the dashboards for us, which actually gives a briefing information for monitoring and reporting purpose. The configured applications then can be used for dissemination of the information to my stakeholders. It can also be used by the senior executive for decision making and planning purpose. So the outputs which are being developed, which can be disseminated, are my web applications built through my web app builders. These can be the operational briefing boards built using the widgets. These can be the mobile apps which can be used by my fieldwork staff using the already integrated applications mobile apps which are a part of the solution itself, and it supports all kind of apps. Maybe you are going in a vehicle and doing a kinematic survey, maybe a quick capture kind of application can help you. If you're going in a field and you want to have a geocentric information to be collected, maybe the collector kind of application is going to help you. And sometimes we have to do an exhaustive survey, which is a form based, complete form based. So maybe an application like Survey 123 can be a useful application for that. And whatever the things which you are doing, because a department, a ministry has different level of users who are contributing the data. So it supports the community engagements. So different stakeholders individually can contribute to the organizations, and then different organizations they can contribute to the nation. So is the ArcGIS hub. It's a one platform wherein you can which gives you a freedom of the collaboration of your work. And then probably I would like to show you how the way you can go for finding out an exploratory analysis which you can do with insights, and you can share it with across organizations or to the user community of yours. So this is a three-step process which is required for creating a solution around the forestry. First, the creation of knowledge-based systems. So here it goes, a ArcGIS Living Atlas, which is a data real time, more or less a current data which you receive in the form of services and applications. And it has been used, I can see, by ICIMOD in many of their applications. So you can go to this particular site, get the informations, like I'm trying to show it to you, the conservation related informations which are there in the form of services which are available. Maybe if you want to go for a hazard zone mapping for my territory, then probably I can take the services which are available with respect to the earthquakes and other disasters with me. So thus this particular indicators of planet applications which contains the data in the form of services is going to enrich my local data uh, for further analysis to me and giving more and data enrichment. There is something called ArcGIS Living Atlas, which contains the data from most authenticated sources globally. It also contributes, say for example, I am really interested in finding out the forest fire related resources. So it gives me not only the services and data, but also many reference applications which I can always refer for doing my study for my area. And if I want any data related to forest fire, as I can see, Sudip ji has also used it in their applications, whether it's a modest data, whether it's also VIR data. He has also taken these services from here, and these are very current data, up to date data which you get with the FRP informations. And then probably what you can do, we can go with the tools. There are many aggregated live feed tools which are available. With the help of these tools, we can create some simulation kind of models. Like these are the FRP based forest fire sites with me, and then I would like to actually simulate it with respect to how this is going to be the smoke forecast with respect to the different time intervals, considering the wind directions and wind speeds. So both the wind data I'm receiving from my Nova sites, and on the basis of that application has been done. Same way, I want to have a current date water information from my resources. So there are certain systems like ECMFW, stream flow network information, which is giving me the current date information so that I can go for creation of my hydrographs or so. Thus, this particular system giving me the data and other informations for creation of my knowledge based systems. The other part comes like if I have my local data, how I can create a data model for me. So if you go to the ESRI solution sites, it gives you lot many design templates from where you can create a forest data model. You can have a conceptual designing of that. You can localize it with your inputs. So whether the data is related to the land and administrations, whether it's related to forest inventory, forest management, natural resources inventory, raster data. So most of the areas wherein any forest department can work, that has been considered within that data model, and you will really find it useful for. There are many ready to use tools which are available. Uh, Most of you already know the hydro tools which are very much helpful when you go for any watershed analysis or identifying a check dam locations for you. But there has been introduced new tools like which are based on a lidar data for vim2, which is we call it wetland id workflow network. So there are this kind of tools which are available, which can be used again for enriching the data which we are having, and the tools with the help of which you can go for analysis and create your knowledge based systems. If I come to the spatial analysis part, there are more than 27 standard tools which is generally used in any geospatial industry are there. Maybe if I categorize them, these can be related to the summarization of the informations. These can be related to finding out the locations. We have seen how the way it can is helpful for data enrichment. It's very helpful in analyzing the pattern analysis or any of the proximity analysis, and even in managing of my data. Few examples. If I want to go for any suitability analysis, most of you must have seen the new suitability modeler which has been introduced, which is really helpful in identifying of the areas. Say I'm talking the forest department really want to identify the water conservation structure they want to create in their division. So there are certain criteria which are to be followed. Suppose we really want to go for creation of a percolation tank, then it should be a large waterside area with more than 40 hectares, and the slope should be a medium level slope, and a high soil texture with low runoff potential. Same way, there are many other criteria which can be considered. So on the basis of these, considering these criteria, the suitability modeler takes the input from different data sources like slope data, like land use, land cover data, the annual precipitations, the terrain analysis, the soil informations, and this modeler then go for a weighted overlay and gives you the suitable sites wherein we can go for construction of such kind of structures for us. Same way, for the hilly mountain area, it goes equally true for identification of the potential habitats for a hilly leopard, and going for finding out a network of corridors, how the way these different codes can be connected to one another on the basis of the different criteria and the different data sets which are available. Then coming to the second part, which is configuring the applications. So thus in the first part we have seen how the way we have created the data, we have got it entries with the data which we are having. Now comes the configuration part. So you see the left part of this tool, which is a map viewer for me, wherein we can go for creation of the applications, web maps with no code, or if required, definitely we can go for the coding as well. So the left panel gives me the freedom wherein I can consider my data input part, the layers, the base maps, and other things. Wherein the right part shows me I can change the properties, I can do all the cosmetics, I can set up the different themes for visualizations so that I can make my applications in so that the audience can analyze it on a first go, because the applications which are being prepared are like what you see that you will get kind of applications. So this is the part wherein you can configure it. These are the different widgets which are available through which we can create the applications using an application called web builders. This is here it goes a list of the different widgets. There are more than 40 widgets which are available, which are being mostly used for this any kind of spatial analysis which is required to be done over the web. Coming to the third part, that is the use of these applications, configured applications for disseminations, for decision making or planning. So like we have operational dashboards, we have the hub sites which are very much helpful in such kind of thing. The dashboards not only helpful in progress monitoring or monitoring of the projects which are going or activities being carried out, but also these are very helpful when we go for complete asset management for the forest department, monitoring of the plantation activities which are being carried out, even when we talk of the financial and the physical progress which is going on. So like, what is the progress on such and such date, what was the target which has been allocated, and what is the achievement actually being carried out. Then state wise or territory wise, that can be analyzed, that can be monitored from here directly. And there are interactive graphs which are there, which can be always used for filtering of the monitoring activity which is to be carried out for progress part. There is an application which definitely I would like to show it to you for with respect to the dashboards. It's not only the data which is being integrated, but definitely, it can create a geocentric application for me, which is integrated with other informations. Like this is an example which I would like to show. Actually, if you talk of the sound is a way of communication by the different wildlife, and this is how they communicate and express their territories. So this is a dashboard which is integrated. There are certain sensors and other devices which are kept very sensitively in the habitats, and then the corresponding videographs, the sounds has been taken and been integrated with the habitat area of these wildlife. The entire application can be categorized with the different categories, maybe related to birds, maybe related to water, weather, or if I want to go for any wildlife, maybe there is a repository of those which can be taken, and you click on that corresponding informations related to sounds, and if videos are also there, that can also be great. Right, so coming back to my presentation part. So thus, such kind of all the applications which has been carried out by the different divisions of my department, these can be collaborated and put it in one hub, which is capable of putting the data in a required format, as well as it will act as a data hub for me if required. The informations can be disseminated to the different audience or the different stakeholders. So here, this gives me a collaborated platform wherein the individual work which has been carried out can be put in one platform, and even the different organizations who are working with the same goal, they can contribute to this particular hub at a single area. So this is how the ArcGIS hub is going to help us in making the work in a collaborated manner. So let me take you to this demonstration of the solution which is going around all these tools for the forestry and wildlife protection. So here is the hub, because I ended up with the hub, so would like to start from there. This is how we have created a hub, wherein my team, they have created the different forest and wildlife applications which are being used and utilized by the forest ministries or the state forest departments and other research institutes who are working in the field of forestry and wildlife. So if I take few examples, then definitely, the primary object of this forestry geohub is to establish and implement a web-based single gateway, an integrated GIS platform to access, acquire, and process and store the geospatial informations through web services, and use the GIS advanced tools for analysis. There are web maps, mobile apps, which can be executed by the forest applications. So one of the applications which I would like to take is the green cover monitoring maybe. Natural climate change and human activities are the main driving forces associated with any forest vegetation change. And if I click on over here, probably this is going to open an application for me. So we have also seen with you that Esri gives you the repository of satellite imageries, which in the form of a wayback imageries. If you see, I would like, before I go to my actual green cover monitoring applications, I would like to show it to you because there may be some audience which is new for this application. So right side, I have tried to select an image of 2014, and this is an image which I have taken on 2020, and area I have taken is the Basantapur. So if I really want to see, the changes which has happened, so these imageries which are available with me, we can get it analyzed, we can see it over here. So this is a background of the data and the images which are being used. Now I will come to my application part. So with the application, same way we can get it selected for my area. So whether I want to take a data of 2013 and I want to compare it with the August 2021 data, or any data which we would like to change it for say 2014 and so, and would like to get change. So the vegetation cover change is actually the 70% area in this particular area has been decreased with respect to the vegetation, wherein 30% has been increased. And this is all being calculated with the NDVI, the vegetation indices, which most of us know. So the data part is there. It gives you us the ready to use tools. So only thing required is some inputs from my side, or otherwise the application can directly be embedded to the local data which I am having. There is another area where I would like to show is the working plan area. So if I go to the working plan, at the division forest or the straight forest, they need the forest area statistics with respect to their territories, and going up to the lowest level, that's a coop management. So probably I will go to this coop management, which is considered as the lowest unit. A small area of forest within a compartment, which is being harvested in a single operations. So what informations is there? How the way is a grid wise this particular coop is being maintained, along with every compartment number. It's my coop. Then going up to the compartment level, which is slightly higher level to that, we can move up to that informations, and it also gives me all the informations which is related to my forest cover mapping. These are the services which we are getting in India. There is an organization called Forest Survey of India, the epic agency for forestry, which is providing us that data. Same way, the information related to forest type mapping, that's being taken in the form of services and being integrated over here. So on the basis of this, the department actually plans like which are the areas which has been covered in previous year plantation, and now which are the areas which are still barren and needed to be planted this year. So is the applications right in front of you, which is related to the plantation part, and which shows us the different plantation sites available in the state of Uttar Pradesh, which is the neighboring state to the country Nepal. And there is a workflow which has been created, so the particular DFO can log in and go to their individual division sites. They can see what are the plantation sites available in their division. They have requested for certain areas. The DFO actually marks certain plantation sites which are being validated by the senior authorities. So there are certain approvals and disapprovals, and then it's being marked to the CCF2 on that. So this is a complete workflow of that which can be seen. It's a big application. It includes all the detailings of the sites which are there, which has been configured in a local regional language, and then goes the statistics, because there is some data which is coming from existing other applications, which is known as an e-greenwatch application over here. So that MIS data has been ingested to this, which is giving me the information about the approval status, how many have been rejected in particular mandal or particular division, how many have been approved, and which has been marked to the chief conservator of the forest. And along with that, there are many other strategies which has been integrated. It has been also integrated with a new area which is related to the forest encroachment. So the Khasra maps, it starts with basically the demarcation of the land area for the forest. So the Khasra map or the blueprint maps has been taken, which has been georeferenced and put it over the forest area. And then the particular team has been gone to the field and marked the first is the encroachment areas, which has been marked. If you see how many area which are the abundant type, there are area wherein people have started the permanent agriculture over there. There are the area where they have come up with the settlements, or there are certain areas where shifting cultivations is being done. So all these are the areas where encroachment has happened. Same way, the team is also responsible for carrying out where the illegal activities has been carried out. So you can select out the specific division, then the circle within that particular division, and go for the different kind of illegal activities which are being carried out. Say, for example, animal poaching related activity, and the different kind of constructions related activities which are going on, or it can be a tree cutting activities which is being carried out from here. So thus there are many applications which are there to use these tools and create the applications related to the use of yours. There is a specific tools which is available for download in the solution gallery, like many of us has been created using these tools which I am elaborated to you. And coming to like a human wildlife conflict part, if you go and search for an Esri conservation solution for protected area, probably the first answer you will be getting is this conservation land management solution tool. And if I go for details of that, this is once you click on that, it's going to give you the conservation solutions, whether it's related to the outreach, whether it's related to the protection operations, wildlife management, and much more. Here goes the details of all these, whether you want to use it for a illegal tracking activity. So the system, there is a protection incident manager, which is integrated with a mobile app with all the data models, data applications which is there, which can be taken for collection of the data, taking out the photograph, and then pushing it back to my product incident manager. And then from here, the database can also be taken directly into the configurable dashboard, which is continuously, as the data is getting received from my mobile, getting updated on that. And if you would like to really try it, maybe you can click it. It will take you to the area in the ArcGIS solution from where you can download it and deploy it. So this way you can get the different solutions, maybe related to protection operations, maybe related to wildlife management, maybe related to other conservation operations related solutions which are there. And then once these are deployed and downloaded, you will find that these has been added to the solution gallery of yours. Like I have logged in with my credentials and I found all these, I downloaded, and these are there with me, which I can always take as to my ArcGIS Pro or at desktop level, wherein I can download these and I can localize all these solutions with me. So here it goes, how this look likes. And if I want to go to my ArcGIS Pro, then probably I can take this the layers which I have taken. I just drag and drop it. I will find it over here. It gives me a complete reference data schema, like what is the conflict, what is the date and time, the assessment of the conflict which has been happened. And if I really need to get it localized, or I want to add few more fields to this, it gives me a complete freedom that I can add, like location name. So probably I can give it as some data types, and this is how I can localize it. If I really want to take out certain of the fields, that is also possible for me. So this is how we can create and localize the data which is available with us. And then comes a very important tool, because I have been using the term the location BI during my presentations. So what we have done is, this is Insights for ArcGIS tool with me, and I just try to have a Excel data which is with me with respect to the human animal conflict data. And the data contains informations like, who is the person, the address, the division where this under which the conflict has occurred, the date, the cause, and other details about this particular incident. So what we can do, this is an insight interrogative analysis tools with me, which is gives me a complete freedom to take data from anywhere, whether I want to take it from the living atlas, whether I want to upload the data from any of my Excel sheets. It touches all the corners where you can keep your database. Suppose I would like to start with a very simple one, that is uploading it from my dashboard, or from my Excel sheet. So you just drag and drop it. It will take the data directly from here, and you can add it to your working area. And you'll see all the fields which were there has been added over here. The advantage with Insights is, in the GIS you play with one layer, but here you can play with every attribute or every field which is there in this particular layer. You can play with that. Now first in first, because it has got a lat long values associated with it, so I am adding enabling the locations. So it has taken the different corresponding fields, mapped it, and it has been now geo-enabled. So now you can take this field, probably you go and you want to say create a map for me. So this is how it has created a map, and with the circle itself, with the symbology which has been given, you can make it out which are the areas where maximum number of conflicts has occurred. The second information which I really want to know is, which are my hot spots for me. So what I can do, probably I can go over here and find answers to my queries, like I want to calculate the conflict areas where the maximum number of incidents has occurred, that are my hotspot zones or so. So here it got another layer. Maybe what I can do, I can take it to the another card, drag and drop it over here. So these are my hotspots. I can clearly make it out from here. Probably I want to get an answer like with a year-wise pattern, how the way these human animal conflicts has occurred in this area. Probably I can go to the chart and I can create a graph for me. Here it shows from the data from 2002 to 2020, I suppose 19, and here is the number of counts which goes year by year. So we can easily make it out. In 2005 we have received maximum number of conflicts, that is 58, while on an average every year we are having 42 incidences which are happening in this particular area. The analysis can be done on a monthly basis also. Same way we can receive a chart, so that I may able to analyze which are the months basically wherein we are receiving the maximum number of uh, incidents which are happening, maybe in June. So the reason maybe it's hot and humid, and these animals travel to the water body sites, and there is actually a railway corridor which is going. This is in Assam area which I have taken. So that's the reason that the maximum number of conflicts happens. If I want to have an analysis with respect to time, so which is the time when maximum number of these are incidents are happening. So I want to make a tree card for that. So if you see the tree card, the maximum, the size itself telling me when this maximum number of incidents are happening. So if I see this is a 1 o'clock at night, 1 a.m. So once you click it, probably this is the night time when most of the incidents are happening. And these are the places where the incidents occurred. These are the years when we have received the most of incidents happened in this particular night time or so. So this way you can keep on dragging the things, the informations from these tools, and try to get insights for the queries which you are having in your mind to tell your story and to reach up to the solutions which you want to make. So with this, I would like to give a summary, and probably then with that I will give it back to Sudip. So thus we have seen Esri gives a complete framework and ecosystem to get your data analyzed. You can have the different visualization tools where you can go for the visualizations in a spatio-temporal manner. You can explore and iterate the informations by taking out the tools. It gives you complete guided workflows, so that this is the way you have to start your work, create your data, you configure the data, and this is the way you can disseminate it. It connects to the different data sources. So may it be simple Excel sheet, may it be your data in your local disk in the form of your DBF files also, or it's a data which is residing in your RDBMS like Oracle, like Postgres, or talk of the big data SAP and also. You can always enrich your data from either demographic data or the data which is coming from ArcGIS Living Atlas sites to have more insight analysis to be incorporated over your local data. You can always share and communicate using the tools like ArcGIS GeoHub, wherein you put your data, collaborate with the rest of the divisions and departments. And of course, you have all the record data getting stored in your database, and you can make the models which can rerun these workflows, which you can either can share it across your organizations, or in future if you want to get it implemented for your other projects, maybe those are going to help you. So with this, I would like to say thank you to all of you, and I hand over it back to Sudip. So Sudip, what is
Thank you very much, Chandramohan, for wonderful presentations and demo. You showed lots of tools which are ready to use and very useful in various applications, and also solutions from very much like from the scratch, from data to all the way to application. So in the interest of time, we can move on to the next presenter. So may I call upon now Ashish Dhawan, Divisional Manager, Esri India, to give his presentation on health and GI solutions. So we have been facing this pandemic of COVID. So I'm hoping like Ashish would have some slides or demo on the COVID application as well. Over to you, Ashish. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Sudip. Thanks a lot for giving the details that I would be more majorly concentrating on the health segment, where I will definitely be taking care of the COVID stuff as well. Just to talk about, when we talk about health segment, what we really understand is that we have lots of data which is coming from multiple departments, especially in scenarios like COVID, when we talked about, it was not only the health hospitals which were engaged into it, it was the government department who was also taking care of stuff. There were many NGOs, many organizations who had actually stepped in to help in the pandemic session. So when we understand, like what even Chandramohan had showed, that there were lots of variety of data sets which can be used. So even in the health segment, when we talk about, ArcGIS provides a framework where it gives you the full flexibility of adding your multiple data sets from multiple sources, like hospitals, like NGOs, like government institutes, into a single place where you can not only visualize your data, but you can do analysis on that, you can do planning. And once that data comes, you can do decision making also on top of it. And when we talk about the data sets which are coming from especially from the health department, so we very well understand there are lots of health facilities, health resources. There's details of cases where the cases are increasing. It can be not only COVID, but it can be any kind of different diseases which are available. And then we would also like to understand how the spread of a disease is happening, what is the demographic condition of a particular area and how it can be related to the cases, so that we can understand and see that which are the more probable areas where the vulnerable population is there, where you will understand that where the cases can increase. We can do the forecasting based on the historical information, and based on that we can also add multiple testing sites where all new testing sites, new collecting centers have been placed. Because in COVID scenarios we had seen that it was not only the hospitals who were doing the collections, but there were some educational institutes, some other government buildings which were being utilized to which were made as a testing collection center. So the best thing about providing a framework is that it gives you a capability of adding all these multiple resources into a single place where you can do your planning activity and you can provide your actions on top of it. And what kind of solutions what we offer is, the first thing is that there are different kind of data sets which are coming into it. So it's not only like CM had also showed that you can simply use a simple XLS file, but it's not only about XLS, it's about other data sets which can be used, like the demographic data. Another important segment which had come about is the CDR data. Now, what is the CDR data is that generally once you have a mobile phone, you can switch off your location, but still, if you switch off your location, generally you're not sharing your location. But with the latest technology of CDR data, what happens is that you are already attached to the nearest telecom towers, and those telecom towers gives the exact location using the triangulation method. It gives you the right location of your presence. So when you are trying to do any you would like to know where exactly your patient is and whether he's following the rules of social distancing or not. So all those activities could also be tracked in COVID scenarios, which were taken. And the best thing is that everything is configurable for ArcGIS. We can use these data sets and we can do the configuration, and based on that configuration we can come up with different solutions which we offer. So what kind of solutions we offer is, you can see that we are giving you a full, not only the visualization of how the spread of a disease is happening, where it is happening, where are most of the hotspots, clusters, where a disease is spreading. Once you have the details of that, you can do different analysis. You can have a real-time dashboard. Now, in COVID scenarios, there were situations where we had shared lots of implementations across globe where we had taken the live data sets coming from different departments as different feeds. So it was not a regular Excel which was coming. Sometimes it was a different web service which was being shared. Sometimes it was data which was coming from IoT devices. So all those devices could be integrated into our dashboards, and that dashboard could become a real-time scenario where you could actually visualize how the spread of a disease. You could understand the spread of the disease. You could then, based on that, you could plan your resources. You could also do your site selection, that sometimes where a case, where the number of cases are increasing, you would like to add new testing sites, you would like to add new hospitals, you would like to understand which are the best suitable sites for maybe oxygen distribution, which are different stuffs which were required not only in COVID, but it can also be used in other diseases as well. So all these planning can always be done. And the best part is that when you are trying to do a survey, you can always use the mobile apps. So the mobile apps, the capability of mobile is like, it's not only the dashboards and the web applications which can be created as configurable stuff, like you can create your applications in just a few hours, but even your mobile applications based on your department's needs, you can define what kind of attributes you would like to collect from the field. You can upload a photograph, you can upload a video into those, and once you have the details for that, you can always integrate it. And the best thing is it also works in an offline scenario. So if it's working in an offline scenario, so there are situations where the network connectivity, when you go deep interior into the interiors, maybe a deep forest area or maybe a place where the connectivity is not there, so even there, the application doesn't stop. You can keep on working on the software on the mobile devices, go on collecting your data. You can add your attributes. You can add a point, line, polygon to ensure that the data is being getting collected. And once the person is back into the network, he can, from the field itself, he can submit the data to the central offices, giving the real-time scenarios of the field situations into the major command and control center, which can help become, for helping to stop the disease spread. So there were some sections which we had already implemented for COVID. We had implemented dashboards for WHO. We had worked with in US for Johns Hopkins University, and India. One of the major leading agencies like NDMA was taking care of the full COVID scenario. So there we had actually helped NDMA collect all the data from multiple states, which were the states where the disease spread was happening more or where it was happening less. All these data was coming into a single unified dashboard on regular basis, and we were able to monitor the disease spread. Another important aspect, what we found was that when the wave 2 had come, in that we had seen that there were so many number of cases that oxygen demand and supply, there was a way more demand for oxygen as compared to the supply, and because of that they wanted to have solutions. So there also our ArcGIS actually helped not only monitor where the oxygen demand is increasing, but it has also helped in planning your distribution, planning the monitoring, where are the places where the oxygen availability is there. So the what we were doing was, we were trying to give a end-to-end solution to the government department, to the hospital HMI systems, to ensure that they could deploy these applications in the shortest possible time, and they could monitor all of them together in a single unified platform. So it was not only we were not only helping them in doing their planning and policy operations, but also related to their operations. And then there were some places where the citizens wanted the information. So to understand that if they would like to go for an oxygen cylinder, which is the nearest oxygen cylinder distributor where they can go on, where the availability is there. So the real-time data coming from the real-time availability of the oxygen cylinders, the details were coming into the application, and the citizens could have the facility of knowing where exactly they could take these. And we had not only helped in that, these are some of the applications which we had implemented for oxygen to understand how the consumption was there at different states. You can see that wherever the oxygen consumption was decreasing, there was a symbol which was alert symbol which was raised, which could actually tell that, okay, the demand of oxygen in this particular area and this particular hospital is going on increasing as compared to the other areas where it was there. And once the details were there, that was pushed into a regular dashboard. And then from the dashboard, we had also tried to share the details of different hospitals. What was the consumption in a particular hospital? What was their total consumption? What is their present stock availability, which is there, and the need? Because we had the historical information of how the number of patients are increasing, so we could understand their demand as well. And once we understand the demand, we can actually plan their activities for oxygen distribution as well. And another important thing which we recently had implemented was the vaccine distribution. We had given, so even during vaccine distribution, which are the places where which population has to be based on the government plans, based on the policies which were rolled out from the government. We could actually plan which are the population areas where the initial population, like people above 45 years, could be vaccinated first. So we had tried to take the demographic data from there, and based on that policy, we could actually see that where the population of more than 45 years is available, and based on that vaccine distribution, we could do the planning activities. And again, in this, what we had also done was that based on the vaccine distribution, the details were being updated into the centralized dashboard. And once we have the detailed information in the centralized dashboard, so if a citizen wants to understand that I want to get vaccinated today, whether which of the hospital is having the availability for me getting vaccinated, and which are the nearest vaccination centers where they could do their appointment booking using their mobile devices, and they could plan there, and they could also find the nearest shortest route for that. So this were the different examples which we had implemented in COVID scenarios and planning their operations around it. So these were some of the places where we had taken the details from the hospitals. So even the hospitals were given the option where they could directly upload their data based on vaccination. They could upload that how many vaccines have come to them, so that they could those details could be updated into the centralized repository. And once that information is updated into the centralized repository, the people could actually go and understand that where are the hospitals where the vaccines are available. So based on that, it was not only the COVID. Now we'd like to move from COVID to the other regular health segments where the software is helpful. So my initial slides were more talking about from the COVID scenario, but now we will like to I would like to move you to the next scenarios where when we have the detailed information. So we had implemented our software in multiple states in India, and where we had tried to take the historical data. Now, once we have a historical data, we try to get and understand the pattern of a disease, that why a particular, which are the major clusters where a disease is spreading, what could be the causes of the disease. So all those attributes were put into the system. We could get the charts, we could get the other dynamics related to the health information into that system. We could understand the pattern, and based on the historical pattern, there are lots of prediction models which are already a part of our system. So based, the analyst just needs to modify the parameters, the attributes, so that he can, based on the changes, whatever he's seeing in a particular disease, he can change the attributes, and he can run the prediction model, and he can see how a particular disease is spreading. And if you would like to plan your resources, you would like to plan your new sites, you would like to do a site selection, those kind of activities are also directly helping the health department to go ahead. So there were also advanced analytical tools which were also being provided from ArcGIS, which can help you understand not only in a 2D scenario, but also if you would like to do analysis in a 3D scenario to understand the kind of disease spread. Because nowadays you can see there are multiple uh, high-rise buildings also which are there. So if you would like to understand that in a different scenario that you would like to understand how the disease is spreading on a high-rise building, you can have details related to that. You can apply, you can have a time awareness routing. So there were places where you can actually plan your route. So if there is a ambulance, or if there is a there are places where solutions like 108 are implemented, where you would like to the hospital sends their hospital ambulances to a particular, to the places where the super specialty hospitals are not there, and all their planning activity can be planned using our software, and you can monitor the movement of the vehicle, and you can monitor whether it is going on a regular basis to that particular district or not. So that kind of solutions can also be implemented using the time awareness routing solution. And the best thing is that everything is easily configurable, like the templates which CM has already shown you. There are solution templates which are related to health department as well. You can directly download those templates, and you can use those templates for health management perspective. So what we are talking about in a industry is, we are not only talking about mapping a particular disease, we are talking about collection of data from referrals. So it's access and prevention. So if you would like to prevent a particular disease, what is the cause? Once you understand what is the cause of the disease, you can actually plan your plan your prevention activities around it. Then there are such situational awareness, like your tools like your real-time dashboards and insights which help you do your situational awareness. You can do your tracking and routing activities. You can collect information from the field. You can upload your photographs of a particular patient or a hospital or a new center, and set that updated information to the central uh, your command and control center. And once all that information is collected, it can be shared, and where shared with the public and the people who are the regular stakeholders with that. This is another example where there was a leprosy eradication program which was run in India. So they had used our software very closely, where they wanted to ensure that the leprosy disease could be, wiped out from India. So we had taken the district level data. We had tried to, the department had taken the places where which are the places where they need to concentrate more, which are the districts where they need to focus more based on the more number of cases. They could understand which is the prevalence, where the prevalence of the leprosy is more. They could understand this value based on a particular district, and they could focus on that district first, and they could plan their activities. So what we are actually talking about is that for the health department, it's not only the hospitals, but it is the government department, the city staff, the startups, NGOs, the education institutes. So it's not only one particular stakeholder which is using this kind of application, but for the health department, it is the full different stakeholders from different places which can be used, which can use our software, and they can share the information. So with this, I would like to show you some examples of uh, of the implementations which we have done. So first, let me cover the COVID section. I hope you can see the my application for COVID.
Yes, Ashish, we can.
Thank you. So here you can see that this is one of the examples. We had implemented such solutions in multiple states, but I would just like to show you one example of one state. We had replicated the solutions into multiple states in India and multiple cities. So here you can see that in COVID scenarios, if you would like to understand the COVID situation, you would like to monitor the daily status of how the number of cases are increasing, how the total number of what is the total number of deaths which are increasing in that area, what is the recovery rate in that area. So all that information is coming into the centralized dashboard on daily basis, and we can actually draw a full chart related to that. And we can also do understand that which are the major districts where more number of cases are increasing, so that the people can have a focus on that. And there were then multiple applications which were created. So there were COVID dashboards which were created. There were dashboards which were created for patients, and there were then oxygen distribution examples were also implemented. So the first thing which I would like to talk about is so this is the dashboard which we are talking about, where you can have the full details. If you would like to have a detail on a district wise map, you can very well have it. You can very well understand that what are the total number of positive cases which are there. If there was how many people have been done with the RT-PCR report, how many people have been tested with rapid antigen. So you have all the details for that. And so this was more related to COVID, and the examples which I was talking about, the oxygen plant monitoring, where you would like to understand what is the consumption of a particular of oxygen in a particular area. So you can very well understand that we have got updates which are coming from different hospitals. So you can click on the hospital, you can get the details of that particular hospital. You get to know what is the like we have the categories of oxygen, like a type D cylinder and a type B cylinder. So you can understand that what is the consumption of oxygen in a particular area. You can see what is the full what are the details available for oxygen in the full Sikkim state. So you can understand what are the total number of cylinders. So it's giving you a full detailed information of the oxygen consumption in a particular area. So these kind of applications were actually being used in COVID scenarios, and the best thing is that we were able to configure them in just a span of I would say not more than a week, where the data, varied kind of data sets, be it whatever data formats, be it coming from, it can be a simple XLS file, it can be a data which is coming from HMI systems, it is a data which is coming from maybe a database or a web service. So all these data sets come into a single unified platform, where it gives you a place for monitoring different kind of stuff. Now, what we have also done is I would like to walk you through some of the other use cases which we have implemented in India. So the first thing which we would like to talk about is the first is a drug de-addiction program. Now, what we have seen is that whenever there are some states in India where the prevalence is much more there, and we would like to understand that from where these drugs are coming, where they are getting, from where the citizens are able to collect these drugs. So you would like to connect all this kind of a data generally comes from not only the ArcGIS systems, but also the social media systems, where you get to have some information of the kind of different drug activities which are going on. So we could extract that information from the social media. We could also extract the information from the agencies like NGOs and police department and the hospital department, which generally shares the different details of places from where how the drugs are being moved. Then all that information, then there's a call helpline, especially call 104, where we have we would like to monitor it. And once we have all this information, what we generally do is we do run the different drug de-addiction programs. So we would like to understand how many drug de-addiction centers are there. So we had applications which were related to that. And then we had, if we would like to share this information with decision makers and citizens, then there are apps which are provided by our software which can help you create this. So this is a end-to-end workflow which we are trying to show you for the health program. So here you can see that if I would like to report a drug activity, you can define that whether you have seen a drug sale, you have seen a drug theft, you can select that, you can upload that information, you can define what kind of drug it is, you can enter the details related to the drug information, whatever you would like to share. You can update the information related to the date and time when this you had seen this activity happening. You can upload a photograph, and the best thing is you can update the location. And once you have done everything, you can just directly submit. Once you submit the application, what happens is that information gets updated into a dashboard where you can see that from where the information has come. You can classify the information related to based on status, that whether the information has been acted upon, whether the information has just been received. Once it has been received, if there is some action being taken on that, then you can get to know that there is some action which has been taken for that particular drug in that particular area. So all that information is coming into a single platform in a real-time manner. And once we have that, then you can definitely classify your data based on like whatever we have done, whether we would like to understand the only the drug sale cases, whatever cases we select, you can see that we get the information related to the drug theft, patient frauds. If there were any, you can have details for that. And then you would like to understand what is their present status. You are only interested in the submitted status, so you can just select the submitted status and you can have details related to that. So this was one example which I wanted to show. Then we would also like to show you an example where we had implemented our solution in UP, Uttar Pradesh, where what
Your voice is breaking, Ashish.
So this was information which was more related to the different cases which were coming from whether it was dengue or swine flu. So we were trying to understand the spread of a particular disease, be it swine flu, be it a particular dengue in a particular area. And once we have those details, you can very well see that we are trying to create charts based on that, where you can see that which districts are more having more kind of this particular disease, and if we need to take actions, which are the places where we should implement it. So we had implemented a full HMIS kind of a system for Uttar Pradesh, UP. What we had also done was that there's a 104 like center, where what is required is that the hospital department, the HMI systems, when they need to there are places, there are some districts where the information, where the hospital, very small hospitals are available. You don't have a super specialty hospital. So there's a planning activity which goes around by the full hospital management system, which tells that, okay, on every Friday, you have to visit a particular district A, and you have to meet these particular cases and you need to give them the treatment. So this kind of activity is planned every month for multiple districts. And since a full data chart is prepared for that, you would definitely like to monitor it. And so this hospital ambulances vans, which goes with the doctor to a particular district, whether they have gone to that particular district or not, how many patients have been visited, all that information coming from telematics get embedded into our systems. And once that information has come into our systems, we can very well use it for our purpose, and we can very well see that whether whatever planning activity has been going around for 104, whether we are able to meet it or not. So this is the solution portal, which was which already CM has talked about from the forestry purpose, but you can very well see that there are multiple solutions around health and human services, which you can definitely download, and you can use these templates. And once these templates are now downloaded, you just need to configure your datasets into your applications, and once you do that, you can very well work around it. And another example which I would like to focus upon more is from the example of the site selection. Like we very well understand that when we are talking about patients, when we are talking about HMI system, it's more about super specialty hospitals, the facilities, the kind of nursing facilities which are there. You would like to understand that what are the resources which are available for you. And then there are some plans which the HMIS has done, that whether we are ready for, whether we are prepared for that particular kind of a disease or not, what is the plan and how you would like to execute. So what we have done in this is, I would like to show you a quick, this is a PDF document. So we had the example which I was talking about, we had shared this report as a PDF document. So the best thing is that you don't need to have the software running onto your devices. Whatever analysis you have done, you can share that analysis as a PDF document. So this is a simple PDF document. It behaves just like a regular GIS software, where you can switch on, switch off your layers. Whichever layer you want, you can switch it off. You can understand which are the places where more patient density is there. You can understand what kind of hospitals are there. So what we had also done was, we had tried to classify the hospitals based on their super specialty. So you can very well see that I have a eye care center super specialty hospital. I have a women facility, especially for women, lung diseases, thyroid disease. So what we have done is, we have tried to classify the hospitals in this particular area on this map. Now, if I would like to open a new hospital, I can very well, what we have also done is that, apart from the H symbols are the hospitals, and the blue symbols are the different kind of diseases which are getting spread. So if, what I would like to now do is that, I would like to understand that if there is a skin disease which is happening more in this particular area, and there are no hospitals which are related to skin, there are no super specialty hospitals related to skin disease here, we can very well open as a super specialty hospital. And these kind of decisions can be simply taken by a simple PDF file. You don't need to actually run a software for that. You just need to share this report. You can switch on, switch off your different hospitals, different category of hospitals. You can switch on, switch off your different kind of patients in that particular area, and you can do your planning activity based on that. With this, I would also like to show you another example where we are talking about HMI system, where you would like to understand that here, this is a dashboard which tells us the details of different hospitals which are available. It is also giving me the different kind of super specialty hospital doctors which are available. So whether it is related to immunization or family planning or tuberculosis, I can very well book if I want. If I am a citizen and I would like to book a appointment, I can very well, by selecting a particular hospital, I can get to know which hospital it is, what is the waiting time there for a particular whether, if I would like to visit a immunization doctor or a family planning doctor, what is the waiting time there? So what is the average waiting time in a particular hospital? And this is a real-time information. This is a simulation which we are trying to show you. But once this data comes as a real-time data to me, what I can definitely do is, I can very well use this kind of data into my systems, and I can very well share it with the citizens, and the citizens get the benefit of whenever they would like to schedule a appointment for a particular whichever disease they would like to visit, or whichever doctor they would like to visit. So they just need to select the kind of specialty which they like to visit. Another example which I would like to show you is an example of the different hospital health facilities which are there. So what I will do is I will just click on a particular that I am presently located in this particular place. What we have done is I've tried to see which are the different hospitals which are there. So you can very well see that if I would like to visit a residential care or hospital, different hospital and clinics I would like to visit, then based on the kind of hospital I would like to know, I very well get to know which is the nearest hospital which is available for me. So it gives me the details for the different that how many miles it is away. And as soon as I click on it, it is giving me the details of the hospital, and also it gives me the full direction that how I need to go, where I need to go, and what is the route which I need to take from where I am to the hospital location. So these kind of, and again, this is this kind of application can directly be shared, and whatever applications I'm presenting, showing you, these are out of the box applications which can easily be configured. So be it by web application, be it my mobile application, whatever applications I'm talking about, you can very well configure these applications the way you want, however you want, and you can use this information in your HMI systems. So these were some of the use cases which I wanted to highlight. Uh, and with this, I have come to the end of my presentation. If there are any queries, we can take that. Otherwise, I give it back to the department.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ashish. I don't see any question on the chat box, so we can move on to the next presentation now. May I call upon Santanu Dutta, Group Manager, Esri India, to give his presentation on disaster management, modernizing disaster operations using GIS. Over to you, Santanu.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning to all. This is Shantanu here. Good morning to all. As it was an excellent session from the morning, where all the different works, excellent work which you are doing, which has been showcased, and simultaneously with ICIMOD and Esri has a long relation. We have worked a lot with ICIMOD also, and Chandramohan and Ashish has also described two different and major use case where the geospatial technology is being used. And now I am going to talk about the domain where the expertise is there with you. So in this particular domain, here we know that there are the different disasters which we are facing last couple of years and so on. And recently the NASA has also told that the global temperature is increasing. That's why it's giving an huge adverse effect to the environment, where the different floods, the cyclone, the huge amount of earthquakes, lightnings, these all the different disasters we are facing several times. And when we are talking about the disaster, it's having a huge life cycle. We need to work with the pre-disaster phase to still to the mitigation phase itself, where the weather forecasting, the assessments, the monitoring and the planning, these four are the very, very important phases, where each and every phases there is a requirement for the geospatial technology. If I'll take the reference from Vishal sir, which was talking about the geospatial infrastructure today morning. So here we can correlate that thing. The need of the infrastructure is over here, where we are integrating the MIS and GIS data together. We are doing different advanced modeling. We are working on generating the early warning alerts and integrating different feeds, different global feeds, different feeds available with the department. And simultaneously, we are also checking the decisions, and those decisions are being served to the different stakeholders of the department, where to utilize those apps and maps, and simultaneously the community engagement, which is another very important parameter during the disaster, to understand the current information from the different areas of the different places of the disaster prone zones. And then this is helping the department for the efficiency or the effectiveness. And when we are talking about these all different aspects, obviously, when we are talking about the geospatial infrastructure, the data which is coming from different places in any format, The data are coming as an Excel file, which is Chandramohan was showing how we can quickly integrate the same way in disaster phases. Also, we are just updating the different locational data sets, different disaster prone zones, the affected data sets. We are maintaining those things simultaneously. The satellite image, not only the multispectral, hyperspectral images. And nowadays there is a very rich requirement which is coming when we are talking about the multidimensional data, which provides us the time series information inbuilt with the images. By utilizing those data sets, we can quickly understand or see or predict the changes into the environment, into the total geography, geology and geomorphology and everything. And the data also coming as an unstructured format where there is nothing, there is no coordinates are mentioned, only we are just updating and just mentioning the location names and all. Simultaneously, there are several real-time data, sensor data which are coming, 3D data which are coming. So all the data has been integrated, are going to be integrated nowadays into the disaster management geospatial platform. So different formats data are coming different from the different places. Those are coming into a single place. So when that particular data is integrated into a single place, obviously there should be a single repository or single platform which is handling those. Like for the disaster management, when we are talking about a disaster management platform where we are providing the different services, keep any sort of the disaster phase. Like if I'll take the reference which Ashish was talking about, that is also a sort of pandemic as a sort of disaster which we are facing, or if you are facing about that landslide or cyclone, the transportation department, they work for to understand the railway or road network connectivities which has been hampered. Public safety departments, police department, they work for the casualty. Healthcare department always alert to make their total infrastructure ready for the hospital, the doctors and nurses. Utility, communication, to talk with the different districts, to understand how many numbers of the people has been affected. So each and every stakeholders are working together. And this is the platform. By using the enterprise platform, we can provide the services, we can provide the different apps and maps and the services in an offline and online mode to those people, to those stakeholders, to get the data, to take the action. And simultaneously, the all things is being monitored by the emergency operational center. When we are talking about this, these data are accessible from anywhere, accessible from desktop, accessible from web, accessible from your mobile device, and it is helping in our 4 phases, starting from planning, monitoring, operation and disaster management. These all 4 phases, the different apps and maps are ready to utilize, and it is helping us to create a geospatial infrastructure for the disaster management authority. We are able to do that because we do have a living atlas. Chandramohan was talking in the morning that will show that the living atlas is a huge repository of data, starting from the global providers of NOAA, NASA, USGS and MODIS and all. Simultaneously, recently we have also launched the global land use land cover data. Of the 10 meter of the resolution land use land cover data is available with the platform that can be integrated. All the global river stream flow data sets can be integrated. Stream and gauge network data can be integrated. So these all different datas are available easily, quickly. We can integrate those things into the platform and we can start to work during to the pre-disaster phase. Simultaneously, the sensor data. There is another area or another repository of the live indicators regards to the air quality from AQI, regards to the drought datasets, cyclone datasets, earthquake datasets. And the good part of that, these all datas, when these datas are coming, this is not only for the visualization, but also can be analysis. Like we all know that the global temperature is changing and the global temperature is increasing. It is giving adverse effect to the pollution level also. So if I'll quickly show you a small example regards to that. Here in this particular application, we have taken a use case of a state of state of India called Bihar. In the Bihar, there is a pollution control board department from where the pollution data is being integrated. Simultaneously, we have also integrated the MODIS data sets directly from that live indicators of our living atlas. and into the platform of that particular period. We all know that during the stubble burning every year, the huge amount of different component of the weather gets of the atmosphere get changed, which is giving the adverse effect to the environment. So like the same way, utilizing the application by integrating those data, we have tried to understand over here how this particular incident is giving adverse effect to the environment and which are all the hotspots, and how we can analyze and see over here how the different component of the environment like the PM 2.5, which we know it's an important component of the atmosphere, which is also getting changed simultaneously. So this is the strength of the platform now, that by integrating not only the data from the living atlas or from the repository, utilizing of that data sets, we are utilizing that particular data into the platform. Simultaneously, another example or another application I would like to show you, that is when I'll talk about the data, when I'll talk about images, when I'll talk about multispectral image, hyperspectral image. You are very familiar with this particular area. It's a huge disaster which Nepal faced in the 2015. After that, we tried to integrate the ALAS pulsar data, which we all know that the SAR data sets. So this is the ALAS pulsar data which we integrated into the platform. We tried to understand the displacement of the Nepal area which happened during that particular earthquake. So utilizing that, we created the fault over here, and also we tried to understand the linear and non-linear changes over in these particular zones. Simultaneously, we tried to understand these are the displacements happen, which was reflecting in this particular Alice Pulsar data sets, and also we tried to understand that thing into the 3D and 2D simultaneously by utilizing the latest ASRI desktop platform called ArcGIS Pro, which is helping us to do that, to utilize the 2D and 3D simultaneously, and even to analyze the images into the platform. You can see over here, okay, now in ArcGIS platform is having a capability to do the process, to process the satellite images also. So this is how we can analyze the displacement which happened during the earthquake which happened into the Nepal. So this is the strength of the platform by which we can quickly understand, quickly analyze these data sets, integrate these all sensors. And we are able to integrate those sensors utilizing the application by which the live utilization can also be done. The live sensor integration from telemetry, from rain gauge, from SCADA, from any sort of the RTDS which is actually helpful for the department. Those can be easily integrated, and we can represent the location and we can analyze those things also. In the same way, Esri is also having the different ready-to-use tools or ready-to-use applications for the different phases of the disaster management. We do have automated tools are available for the flood monitoring, for the situational awareness, for the operational management, for understanding or real-time integration for the different fire locational datasets, and also the tools for other utilization of that specific geography. Like we do also have a flood risk viewer, we do also have a flood modeling. So there is an interesting use case which again I would like to show you. There is an use case and inside of the ArcGIS platform by which we are now trying to understand the integration of the live sources. So as I was talking about with you, so you can see over here, these are the live stream gauge data which has been integrated with the platform, and this particular stream gauge data provides the information based on the recent level of the flood or recent level of the water storage into that particular river. And simultaneously, we do also have the water flow of any specific river, of the total river network. These are the different services of the NOAA and NASA that has been directly integrated with the platform, and by which we can clearly, not only we can see that today's situation, but also we can see over here what can be into the next 10 days or 15 days, how that particular river flow can also happen into that particular area. So this all understanding is easily possible. And when we are doing that, this is a use case again of Bihar, where we know it's every year it used to flood a zone. So this is a flood risk model has been created. Based on that, the department can analyze and understand which are all the zones which are highly flooded zones, which are all the highly vulnerable, flood vulnerable zones. So these are all the flood vulnerable zones. Same way, the vulnerability analysis has also been done utilizing the ArcGIS platform. Again, we have processed the different images. We have integrated the population data which is available with the platform. And again, we have utilizing the different analytical capability to create the flood vulnerability analysis. Simultaneously, we have also done the flood susceptibility zoning. So this is an application for the flood susceptibility zone where we are not only showing the river flow, but also the flood susceptible zones, and flood is the percentage of the flood susceptible analysis, and the inundation zones, which are all the mostly flood inundation areas which is there into the Bihar. So these are all the different analysis has been done utilizing the platform, integrating the different live tools or live datas which are getting integrated, and also they using the analytical capabilities of the platform now. Simultaneously, when we are doing these all things, we have introduced a specific tools for the hazard monitoring and the hazard management. Like the new tool has been integrated called the suitability modeler, which is helping me to do that specifically for the flood simulation, for the flood susceptibility or the flood vulnerability analysis. We are utilizing the suitability modeler. We are also doing the flood modeling. We are doing also the image classifications, predictive modelings, and very important aspect of the data part which I was talking about called the multidimensional data, using that voxel data handling. We call it voxel layer, and the data engineering part where we are where we are doing the attribute analysis inside of the Desktop GIS platform, and also integrating the different artificial intelligence and machine learning tools also with the platform, and creating different models to do that. So these are the strength of the hazard management in 2D and also into the 3D, where we are representing the 2D and 3D simultaneously and doing the analysis also into the 3D for the flood simulation zones, or for also the urban flooding. Like here again, I would like to give you a quick example of there is an use case for the urban flooding, where this is a city, and we can see over here there's a river which is being flown and just in between of the city over here, and every year this particular river gets flooded. So when the river gets flooded, first we created the total dam over here. We took the dam and we tried to understand what is if the 3 millimeter flood is there, what would be the scenario. Then if it will be the 4 meter flood, what will be the scenario, and if it will be the 5 meter flood, what will be the scenario. And based on that, we started to analyze this total application, and we tried to create the flood modeling over here. We create into the 2D and we also create into the 3D simultaneously. So we can quickly understand if it's a 3 meter flood, which are all the buildings can be affected. And if the water level gets increased, then which are all the areas which will be affected over here. So simultaneously, we can also see if it will be a 4 meter flood, which these all buildings are getting affected. And if it is a 5 meter flood, which is very worstly situation where most of the buildings are getting affected. So this is very useful application in 2D and 3D simultaneously to doing the analysis parallelly using the latest version of the ArcGIS platform, and is helping to the urban flood monitoring department also to do that. So this is another useful application which I would like to also tell you, that like when we are talking about the flood modeling, when we are talking about earthquake, we also do have a strong tool and platform has been, or the functionalities has been included for the landslide. So regards to the landslide, and we'll know that in Nepal, our northeastern part of India and northern part of the India, northeastern part of the West Bengal, these all states are very much landslide prone zones. Few days ago, we have also seen in our northern part what was happened into that Himachal area during the landslide. So this is an example of Arunachal. We choose a district called Tawang of Arunachal Pradesh, and we tried to understand which are all the landslide prone zones of that particular district. So here for that we took the stream datasets, we integrated the stream datasets over there. We integrated the slope datasets also. We created the slope map of Tawang, and simultaneously we also we generated that ADVI of those specific areas. Then we directly went to do the site suitability modeling. So this is an important tool called the suitability modeler, by which we try to understand what is the scenario of Tawang and which are all the roads, which are all the areas rather of the landslide prone zones, and which are all the roads are there. If the landslide is happening, which are all the roads will be getting affected. So you can see these are basically the high landslide prone zones. And when if these are the, and this is the road which is going from there, so this road they need to take decisions to identify the if any huge rainfall is happening, if there is a chance for the landslide, so which are all the alternative roads that can be taken to go somewhere one place to another place. So these are all the different use cases utilizing the suitability modeler, utilizing the prediction modeling tools which can be utilized, and we have tried to do that. We have tried to also do for there are three aspects of the landslide monitoring we have done. So basically for the 10 meter, 15 meter and the 25 meter, by taking that particular aspect, we tried to create that model for that landslide monitoring of Tawang. So this is another example of the utilizing of the ArcGIS platform for specific to understand or to do the different analysis into the GIS platform itself. And then by taking these all things, I would like to show you a live example of, I was talking with the Bihar. So there is an application called, we have created for the Bihar Disaster Management Department, where there are several aspects. Like if I'll talk about the Bihar, we know that the flood prone zone. So department is creating an open solution. It's creating an open hub to integrate the different apps and maps, and also to share the data with the different departments. So this is a flood map viewer. So before going to the flood map viewer, I would quickly like to show you how every year the Bihar, that particular Ganga river bed is getting flooded. We all know that we do have that wayback imagery, which is the 10-meter resolution images are available worldwide. So by utilizing those things, we tried to understand to see the changes of the Ganga river basin. So here you can see quickly over here in the right hand side, this is my 2014 images of Ganga river basin, and 2021 is my left side images. So how you can see over here in the last 7 years, how the total river basin has got changed. And not only the river basin has got changed, simultaneously we can see also over here there are huge amount of agricultural lands were there, and populations were also there. The demographical changes, the agricultural crops changes, the total thing has been taken care, or has been under into the river of Ganga of that particular area. So the state is actually monitoring, state is also doing, they can see over here how the river is got changed and which are all the areas. So there is a huge amount of beneficiary amount they used to provide to all the farmers who had that land over there. So these all activities more clearly and accurately can be done utilizing this particular platform. Simultaneously, we can also do the high amount of the image analysis nowadays, which I was talking with you. The ArcGIS platform is able to process, to analyze the images also, not only into our desktop GIS platform, but also we can quickly and easily we can analyze the images from the web itself. So here, like on the same way, we had the different data or the images are available. This I was talking with you, like the global land cover, which we have published just few months ago. Now we can also see the multispectral data sets of this particular Bihar. So this is the multispectral data of the agricultural parameters. We can also see the geological condition of this particular Bihar state. So this is the geological parameters. So like that way, each and every different parameters of the images are available with the platform, and ready to use tools are available. So this is not only ready-made, and you have to utilize it, but you should have an option. You should have an option to customize or to configure as per your own needs. So I can also integrate the live Sentinel-2 data sets. Based on that, I want to understand the agricultural situation of that particular data of that Sentinel-2 images. So these are all the strength of the platform now, by which we can easily do the image analysis or the image processing also on the web. Then the department is creating the different maps based on the different scenarios, like the total flood inundated area, which are all the total flood inundated area, and what are the flood hazard index, and based on the different mathematical modelings has been done, and also the decision support system, like for the monitoring purposes. The department is providing huge amount of money to the different districts. So that's for the flood hazard monitoring dashboard, or for the flood impact analysis dashboard. So these are all the different dashboards has been created. And simultaneously, another thing which is very important into this particular aspect, that is the relational analysis. Chandramohan was showing you how for the wildlife management and the wildlife monitoring, the ArcGIS Insights is helping. So in these particular aspects for this particular department, the insights, this particular application is helping them to understand the district-wise situation of the different aspects of the flood, like what is the district-wise flood hazard indexes, or agricultural affected areas, or the property damages. So these are all different parameters are being handled from a single database. So here I want to understand the situation of the Begusarai, or simultaneously I want to understand the situation of the multiple districts. So whichever all the districts we need, based on that district-wise analysis of different parameters are possible into the platform now by using this analytics. Same way, the dashboards applications, like the flood impact dashboards. So district-wise dashboards for the affected humans, or for the how many the different kacha ghars or pakka ghars were affected, or what is the total public property was affected. So these are all different applications has been created. This is not only restricted for the flood, but also we have created an application for the earthquake. We all know that, we have seen also, okay, earthquake is a very common parameter incident in last couple of years. So huge amount of earthquakes and lightnings are happening over there. So this is the lightning dashboards by which not only they are identifying or showcasing the location. This is a map which is informing the department to understand which are all the districts which are the high lightning prone zones, medium lightning prone zones, and the low lightning prone zones. So after showing that thing, they want to understand the density of the specific lightning. So we all know that when the lightning happens, there are the two different parameters, CG and AI. So based on those things, we tried to understand the density of the lightning prone zones into the state, and which creates based on the density parameters. So this is the density map of these specific areas where huge amount of the lightnings are happening. And when these lightnings are happening simultaneously, we have also integrated the tehsil data, and we have also integrated the demographical data to understand which are how many populations are getting affected into that specific areas where the high lightning prone zones are there. So district wise analysis of the lightning, that is also doing by the department utilizing this particular platform. And also the comparative that between the comparative of the between different districts. So date wise time series analysis, that also department is doing over there, which is the in the this month of the August, which is the total number of the lightning has happened, which of the time it has happened. So this is a live interactive dashboards by which this all lightning analysis is also being happening into the department. We are able to do that because we do have a ready to use meteorological data which is available with the platform. As I was telling to you, by integrating the different global feeds, by integrating the different datas are available with the department, those has been integrated over here, and we are creating a meteorological information system for the department by integrating the available data and the global repository of the data. And this particular application helped us a lot because I personally was involved. We all know that a few months ago there was a cyclone happened into the eastern part of India, which came from the Andaman lower part to hit it to the Odisha and West Bengal. That was a Yash. So during the Yash, these data helped to understand which is the path where the cyclone will hit, and which are all the different which are all the different districts and the total different populations which is going to be affected. So this meteorological data, meteorological map viewer is having all the different feeds from the national services. We do have a also feed from the live stream gauge feeds or live stream gauge datasets. And if I would like to show you the live applications which was created at that time, by which we tried to understand when the yash heated into this particular area, then it was a huge given huge impact to the different districts of two states, mostly the Odisha and West Bengal. So where we tried to create a dashboard, and utilizing that dashboard we tried to understand that which are all the districts. Like here we can see, here we integrated the live feed from NASA. This was again a SAR map. This was again the SAR datasets which we integrated directly from the NASA feed. We analyze the SAR datasets, we process it into the platform. We created the block map over here. We integrated, this is the block map. And then we tried to understand which are all the categorization we did. We did the categorization of that, which are all the blocks are mostly flood affected. So these are all the red blocks which are mostly flood affected. And simultaneously, department was maintaining these dashboards to understand the which are all the major district, what is the total flood area, what is the total block area, what is the total agricultural area that has been damaged. So again, this is the strength of the Esri platform, by which the pre-disaster phase, disaster phase, and the post-disaster phase, when the state is working to provide the different relief, to provide the different beneficiaries and amounts and all, they can, utilizing this application, they can understand the reality, they can understand the scenario. So block wise flood, and also the block wise total area and the flood affected area, that was analyzed at that time. So we can also go to any specific district or any specific block to see the changes, what is the actual scenario of that particular block. So these are the applications, or these are the tools which has been integrated already into the platform for analysis. Same with the earthquake. There is as we all know that the Chandramohan was also telling that the global feeds has been integrated from different areas, from MODIS, from VIRS, from FIRMS. So by checking that thing, the global earthquake dashboard has also been configured, whereas utilizing that, we can easily and quickly see which are all the areas, which are all the recent earthquake has happened, what is the total, and what is the number of the Richter scale of that particular earthquake. So this is an important application regards to the earthquake analysis also, which is available with the platform. And very importantly, we can't forget the community. We can't forget our field activity when we are doing into the field, when we are updating data from the field, when we are updating the different informations of the disaster and the casualties and all. For that, there is an integrated application utilizing the ArcGIS field maps, by which we can quickly update the data from online and obviously offline, because most of the disaster time we know that there's a non-availability of the network, so we can update the data in offline also. And like the way we created some tool for some mobile application from this particular state, where for the disaster loss reporting can be done utilizing this particular mobile application, by providing the different data sets, like the date of the disaster, type of the disaster, district where it is happening, and specific block of that particular district, and then what is the type of human loss, what is the total deceased persons, his details and all, and even with the photo, and the live location. When this data is getting updated, automatically it is giving reflected into the central portal using this particular available dashboard of that command control center. So this is the thing, this is the area by which ultimate goal is to take all the information into the integrated command control center, where the field data is coming from the field by utilizing mobile app, different applications, different tools are getting utilized and analyzed. And when we are talking about different tools, different technologies and analysis, Esri is having a ready-made tools which is available with the platform. Those are integrated, and simultaneously I would like to show you another quick example of that when we are talking about the live integration of the sensor. So this is another implementation where for the Karnataka disaster management department, where the live sensor data, the telemetry data, the rain gauge data sets, those has been integrated into the platform directly. And you know the good part of that, when they are not only integrated the data for visualizing, but also they are providing the informations to the farmers also. And every 15 minutes, this particular application is getting updated. Where is the moderate rain? Where is the chance of the heavy rain? Where is the huge rain is happening? So these are all the different application areas nowadays are available with the platform. And definitely these all things we are able to do by utilizing the geospatial infrastructure. This it is a part, geospatial infrastructure is a main component, is a main need of the today's area, where we can integrate different tools, different applications, different functionalities. We can create different maps and apps, and we can take it together into the platform, into the infrastructure, into our command control center, and we can provide the services to the user. So thank you. This is from my, so if any question, if any query, we can take it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Santanu, for excellent presentations and showing us various solutions. There is a query from Mir Mateen, so my colleague Mateen. Are these apps accessible by public? So that is the question. So you have shown lots of useful applications. So.
Yeah, sir, the thing is that yes, the apps are accessible by the public, and for the departmental need, we just need to configure it as per their need. Otherwise, the structure, the solutions are available with the platform and accessible by the user also, sir.
Just to add on to, like, there has been a query regarding whether the presentations will be available afterwards. So we will try to do that. But along with that, if Santanu and other colleagues, if you can at least provide us the links that you showed, whichever are public, let's say.
Surely, sir.
So that
Surely.
people can have a go, like look at them and play with them, and it will be an added benefit to many people.
Surely, sir. Surely.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, to move on, I would like to call upon now Ashish Kumar Mittal, Senior Zonal Head, Esri India, for summarizing the sessions.
Thank you so much, Sudip. So to me, it was a very, very wonderful and good investment of time since early morning today. And I hope it is the same for all the participants who joined from across the segments in the Nepal country. I am told that more than 300 participation registration we received for this webinar, and I was looking in between that we all during all the duration we had around 150 plus minus few attendance across the sessions. So this is a very good sign actually. I mean, with the effort of you, Mr. Sudip, personally, your organization and our organization, I think we have been able to put together a good technology session for all the users who have taken out time and joined from various domains and various segments of the country. I mean, I was having a list and I was going through and I saw that people from forestry, people from health department, disaster management, urban departments, several universities, irrigation department, science and technology, and few NGOs. I mean, we had participation, I think, from all those areas. I was also told, interestingly, that not only from Nepal and India, there were participation from some other countries also, which was very, very good for us. It is difficult to summarize the wonderful sessions taken by all of you and all of us in this time, but I will still try to do justice in these next 3 to 4 minutes at what all we have covered since we started this webinar since morning. This was possible with the effort from ICIMOD, the organization with their innovative tools, solutions, which address major environmental and socio-economical issues. They have a program, wonderful program like MENRIS, which contributes to effective evidence-based decision-making processes by the government, and supported by ESRI. I mean, we are an ecosystem by itself. We enable workers in the field, we enable planners, we enable decision makers, and we enable all the analysts who can share the information for all the collaborations. We provide configurable offerings from Esri, which can enable the department in planning and decision making without much investment on coding, much investment on programming, etc., etc. So this was the combination which led to this kind of webinar this morning. I would like to start with Angeli Shrestha, who very beautifully set up the stage for all of us, did modernization, all effect of this beautiful webinar which came today was basically the stage setting which was done by her, and very interestingly she set up the rules and in-house rule also for this session. None other than Mr. Basant Raj, who has been a personal friend of all of us here in Esri India, and who has been very fondly known as our very key associate in the Nepal. I mean, he started and he gave his views on the relationship. Sir, the way you acknowledge the relationship, same way we acknowledge the relationship which we have with you. I mean, you spoke about linking science, policy, and practice all together, which was wonderful to hear from us, sir. On a lighter note, when I was sharing this, socializing this webinar with our internal ESRites today morning, none other than Mr. Rajesh Mathur has commented about the partnership we had in past, sir. I mean, so much so when he spoke about the presidential award which you got from ESRI, none other by Mr. Jack Dangermont for the Hindu Kush Mountains project you did, sir. Thank you so much for your presence, sir. I also thank Vishal, who, despite being on back-to-back travel, yesterday he was in some other city, today he was traveling to some other city, and in between he could find time and he could make sure that he attends to this very important webinar, and he gave all the insights about what GIS is holistically, and he spoke about geospatial infrastructure also, most holistically. Sudip sir, you have been the program coordinator. You have been conceptualizing this event for us, and you have been working all along with us for last about couple of weeks. And in addition to that, you gave all the details about what ICIMOD geospatial applications are. I mean, what are they developed around various thematic areas. Thank you so much for this. Then it was followed by key stalwarts from us who has been supporting all their customers in all their technological needs, sir. All I mean, we call them strategists who has been strategizing various activities for all our customers. It was started by Chandra Mohan, who has been a champion on forestry. I mean, he spoke about almost all the aspects on forestry very well. I mean, it started by you, sir, in the beginning. So he made a comment that you made his life easy, but still he covered most of it. We has been doing beautifully, sir. He talked about the value of assets, the reduced cost, how can we do that, and the improved forest management, sir. Wildlife also he touched upon, and he delivers a set of capabilities that can help capture wildlife observations, which can help monitor wildlife populations and also analyze trends in protected areas. Thank you so much, CM, for this. Ashish Dhawan has taken a very relevant session nowadays on health management, sir. I mean, we are very humble and proud at the same time to state that we have been supporting various organizations in various states in the nation and also your country, sir, in whatever COVID-related needs you have, sir. So our solution help prevent the spread of disease, first and foremost, and also analyze all the healthcare patterns. Also, it sees that how the things can be better utilized. Somewhere there is a scarcity, somewhere there is a things are available in abundance. So we are trying to create all those tools and dashboards and apps which can make sure that things are distributed equally and wherever it is possible, wherever it is humanly possible. So this session on health was very encouraging, and I'm sure everybody was able to correlate to the current situation we are in. In the end, our champion Shantanu, I mean, who has been supporting all the customers in that particular belt, he has been able to very successfully demonstrate what ESRI is capable on disaster management, be it pre-disaster capabilities, be it during the disaster, and also the post-disaster management, from mitigation to preparedness to response and recovery in all scenarios. So I'm sure, like I was having this wonderful time since morning. I'm sure all of us have been able to associate well. And sir, it is just one session. We all are available whenever you think that we can be of any value add to you, sir. Please don't hesitate to reach out to anybody of us. We'll spare nothing to make sure that we are somehow associating with your good cause, sir. Thank you so much. I hand over back to Mr. Sudip.
Thank you so much for nicely summarizing and then thanking all the presenters. Now, last but not the least, may I call upon Dr. Ghulam Rasul Regional Program Manager for MENRIS, to deliver his vote of thanks and concluding remarks. Over to you, Dr. Rasul.
Thank you, Sudip. Very good afternoon, everybody. This was really a wonderful webinar. I have really enjoyed at different parts because I was attending other meetings also simultaneously. But this was really amazing. And I was really very much impressed to see the achievements of ICIMOD and ESRI teams in developing the tools and applications to address different issues of different socioeconomic sectors in this region. And this is really a wonderful knowledge sharing activity which I have witnessed. I appreciate all the speakers and also the role of Angeli and Sudip. Sudip has dual role of an anchor and also a speaker. Angeli set a stage nicely, as Mittal has mentioned. Mittal has already summarized the webinar of 3 hours nicely and covering all the speakers who have talked about different issues of geospatial solutions, innovative geospatial solutions. And now this is the time we should share these solutions and applications with our partners in the region. So that will be, I think, through capacity building activities. I congratulate all those who have contributed to these developments and tools. So this is right now our joint effort of ICIMOD and Esri to move into the region to share these developments with our partners who don't have at the moment. So this will be a great service to this region. Keep it up and share all these advancements whenever possible in a joint manner. I think this is a beautiful galaxy of experts who are who have made this progress in this region, and I hope the region will benefit from their knowledge and wisdom. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rasul. Before we depart, everyone, I would like to actually acknowledge Hriday Saraswat and Vivek Singh Chauhan from ESRI India, and Virendra Bajracharya from ICIMOD, who have been very much involved in devising, planning this web event, along with my colleagues at ICIMOD for their kind help in organizing this webinar. Thank you very much, and thank you for your time. I wish you a very wonderful day.